Hey people, Andre here. Do you enjoy child labor? Do you froth in the mouth with the idea of rampant capitalism? Are you filled with mirth when you hear the words, "I'm in that capitalist grind set"? Yeah, me too. And it's paying my bills after my wife left me in the divorce. She took the house, the dog, my Honda Odyssey, and my will to live. But hey, at least I got custody of this YouTube channel. Welcome to the Industrial Revolution, where the children weren't just the future, they were the workforce. Alongside them, you had adults who worked so hard they couldn't have a future. Isn't it beautiful when progress comes with a body count? Let's dive into Europe's steamy, cold-choked transition from medieval villages to something that would make OSHA burst into tears. And sometimes, just like in my marriage, no one was really happy. Europe during the Industrial Revolution had a dream, nay, a tradition, where governments embrace the laissez-faire dream, let them work until they drop. You see, someone figured out that when you mix unchecked capitalism with the average lifespan of a factory worker, about the same as a mayfly, you get great economic growth. The policies, well, they basically translated to, we're gonna stay out of your way while you work yourself into an early grave. Just make sure to pay your taxes in time, okay? Now, before we get too sentimental, let's talk about the progress the Industrial Revolution brought to Europe. You see, it didn't take long for governments to realize that exploiting the population on a massive scale was way more efficient than just small-scale serfdom. A laissez-faire era of economics, where capitalism decided to test the limits of how far you could push people before they collectively riot. European powers, they sure loved it. Sure, child labor was rampant, but people worked 12 to 16 hours a day with all the job security of a medieval peasant. But think about all the beautiful policies it created, like lowering the legal age to work to whatever age a child could hold a hammer. You know, just another day in paradise for the children yearn for the minds. Of course, today we don't need child labor anymore. Now we have unpaid internships. Why pay someone to suffer when you can slap valuable experience on it and call it a favor? Remember kids, you can't eat experience, but you can definitely starve with it. Now let's compare that to today. Back in the 1800s, your average factory worker was basically a sentient piece of furniture. No rights, no benefits, no weekends. Just dreams of maybe not coughing up coal dust tomorrow. In contrast, today's worker gets a 9-to-5 job, health insurance, and, if you're lucky, you only have to deal with Karen from HR once a week. And rights? The only rights you had in the 1800s were the rights to lose a finger to a spinning wheel or drown in a vat of chemicals. Today, workers are doing much better. At least we've upgraded from might die in a factory fire to will definitely die at your own desk from stress. But hey, we've got weekends now. They're great for recovering the soul-crushing exhaustion of a 40-hour week, only to spend Sunday evening questioning the meaning of existence. It's called balance, folks. Progress, am I right? I mean, we traded black lung and child labor for corporate burnout and pointless Zoom meetings. So I'm not really sure who really won here. Sure, you can take a sick day now, but you're still going to spend it doom scrolling through Twitter while stressing about how behind you'll be once you're back. Truly, we live in the golden age of modern slavery with a smile. Now, let's get into the real highlight of the Industrial Revolution, the environment. Before industry, nature was just sitting there, untouched, unscathed, like a deer in headlights. Then, Europe came along, and boom! Rivers turned into flammable liquids, the air became a nicey smoky soup, and the sky permanently overcast. You know that beautiful London fog? That's not fog. That's the industrialized ghost of nature, haunting us from the past. Fast forward to today and we really upped the ante. Sure, we've stopped dumping raw sewage into the rivers, now we just microplastics them to death. But on a global scale, the Industrial Revolution was basically the tutorial level for environmental destruction. What started with coal and steam-powered death traps has blossomed into full-scale climate change. It's like watching a toddler who just learned how to walk. But the toddler has a flamethrower. We really set the bar high, didn't we? Back then, people fled to the cities from work, only to be packed into overcrowded, miserable slums. Nowadays, you can't even afford a slum. Rent's gone up so much, I'm convinced landlords are just charging us for breathing. Now you might ask, Andre, were there any advantages to this global industrial boom? Oh, absolutely. Without it, we wouldn't have modern technology, economic growth, or the ability to complain about capitalism on the very devices capitalism made. Irony at its finest. But the disadvantages? Well, aside from, the general destruction of human dignity, there's the whole melting ice caps thing. And, let me check my notes. Yes, global inequality. That's right, folks. All that industry made sure the rich get richer while the rest of us got, well, jobs we can barely tolerate. Truly inspiring. And sure, child labor was terrible. But on the bright side, those kids got to build character and factory machines and the foundations of modern capitalism. But hey, at least they weren't stuck making TikToks for a living. If we still had child labor today... Wait. Oh wait, we do. It's just outsourced. But honestly, who really cares about where your iPhone comes from? Those Vietnamese chill... My lawyers have advised me not to finish this joke. And for developing nations, they got the best part of the deal. You either signed up for the Industrial Revolution's VIP club, where your natural resources were extracted and exported, or you got invaded by one of the colonial powers who thought manifest destiny, quote-unquote, meant taking your stuff. Either way, you were screwed. But hey, at least you got railroads out of it, right? But it usually ends on a different note for these kinds of operations. Most likely, the workforce would try to unionize. But if you were a worker, you wouldn't hurt an innocent megacorporation like Jameson Mining and Coal Company, right? After all, we're a team here. Like hell we are. Where did I put those pills? Listen, we just want to talk with your bosses. We get our meeting, and this will all be over. I can't. Why protect him? Do you think JMC Company sees you any differently from the rest of us? You know the difference between you, people, and me? I know Jameson Mining and Coal Company treats you like slaves. Hell, that's why they're the biggest in Europe. I made it to the winning team. People like you, trying to lift each other up. You're just letting others keep you down with them. For what? We own you. I got the right to do whatever I want with you. You were nothing until Jameson Mining and Coal Company found you. Obedience is success. You've chosen to cross the company that gave you a chance. We'll drive you into the ground with debt. We'll give you work so dangerous you'll be in the mines 20 times a day until your muscles come apart at the seams. And when you come back as a useless, gibbering blob, we'll make your family pick up the bill. Yeah, I think it's time for a pill. Yeah, that's better. The Industrial Revolution. It gave us the modern world with all its blessings of conveniences and curses of existential dread. And while we still wrestle with the aftershocks today, at least we can take solace in the fact that it's only going to get worse. As always, more content to come, so stay tuned. A warm thanks to the many members of the Merchants Guild, generously funding and bankrolling these videos. You're all truly wonderful. Have a good one. Alright, roll the credits.